seminars into webinars and digitalization of education system. While accommodating with the new normal, we have to acclimatize ourselves during this stressful period which has been created by the present pandemic. This is the terrific time of our time. Yes, it's a terrific time because the COVID-19 changes everything. We are living in fear. Every day we are several death news. We are counting affected patients numbers. Chaos and chaos. Chaos is everywhere. So how can we analyze our life now? What is the present obstacle? How can we overcome the situation? We'll discuss today in this national webinar. First, I would like to invite Dr. Arindam Gangopadhyay, Assistant Professor of Chemistry and the Secretary of Teachers Council, Rampurhat College, to deliver his welcome note. Dr. Arindam Gangopadhyay. Okay, I think there is some technical problem. Now I would like to invite Dr. Prarthita Biswas. She is our honorable guest and speaker to give a brief introduction about her and the awards and accolades received by her. Dr. Prarthita Biswas is a distinguished speaker for her outstanding research paper. She has over 15 years of teaching experiences in reputed school, college, and university level. She is attached with the Diamond Harbour Women's University and Netaji Subhas Open University as guest faculty and counselor. At present, Dr. Biswas is supervising 3 scholars under her at School of Education, Adamas University. Dr. Biswas has written several books on teacher education and textbooks of Bachelor of Education level. She has been a resource person in international seminars and webinars in Stockholm University and Bangladesh Institute of Lifelong Learning, Dhaka, and also in reputed institutions in New Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. She has chaired several sessions in international and national level seminars. She is the editorial board member and reviewer of national and international UGC approved and peer reviewed journal. Not only that, she is a motivational speaker with a specialization in guidance, psychology counseling, and family therapy from Department of Education, Jadavpur University. She is the awardee of UNESCO certified course of ICT. She is the leader and facilitator of Jagriti Yatra from 2013 at the Entrepreneurship Development Program. I want to welcome Dr. Prarthita Biswas.
Thank you, Dr. Acharya, for your nice deliberation. First of all, I would like to thank Rampurhat College as a whole, along with respected teacher in charge, sir, as well as the honorable organizing committee members and all those who are involved in organizing this webinar. I am also very much thankful to my friend and colleague whom I have known for the last 10 or 12 years, that is head of the Department of Education, Dr. Saumyajit Acharya. He is also very much well known to me. And today there is a one-day national webinar organized by your department on managing stress during pandemic, New Horizons. So I will be giving a deliberation mainly on the stress management, part, which I will highlight that how in COVID-19 situation, the stress management situation should be very much prevalent, and how the persons who are coping in this pandemic are basically they should be dealing with the pandemic that is COVID-19. So with that, I would like to share the screen. So my topic is managing stress during COVID-19. I am Dr. Prarthita Biswas, head of the Department of Education, School of Education, Adamas University. Please. So, we are here in the pandemic situation right now, and the pandemic, that is the COVID-19, is increasing day by day. So, we are in a lot of stress situation, and the current situation, as if it is very difficult, it is very much disturbing, and the weight of the material that have in our minds is very heavy, and we are in a situation that we are actually in a running vehicle or running flight, but that has no direction. This directionless level, we have to bring it in a proper direction through numerous ways, which I will discuss. Now, this is basically a journey where we have to cope up with a lot of things, that is the good, the bad, the ugly. But basically from the bad and the ugly, we have to come out and create ourselves in a positive and in a flexible situation. Next, please. So, we are in the midst of a situation, as you can see. For example, you can center yourselves. This is the U, as you can see. So there are a lot of negativity around it. You will find a lot of things which are not favorable to you, favorable to your environment, or favorable to your work environment. Especially, we all are thoroughly professionals, and we all feel that we are in such a situation, in certain contexts, that we are in a very negative situation. Why? Because there are a lot of health issues, health problem issues. Then there are symptoms. If someone is sneezing, just only because of some mild infection, but the 10 people around him or her will run away. So this is totally a negative situation. And there are other people's behavior also relating to your very mild fever, whom you will find that they are not responding to you in a very positive manner. So that is very difficult for you to take, because maybe you are a very positive person, you go on with your own personality, but you find that there is a constant change. And then there are new and unknown facts you have never come across in your life. So that is another thing where you are very much mentally stressed. Anyway, there is a lot of negativity around you, and you find yourself in a very endless uncertainty. We are professionals, and from our employers, there is a new sort of expectancy that we can do everything in a one single day. So this is also very stressful, and it is not possible also to do that. Now, before going to the remedies, I am just giving you the negative environment, because my next speaker, Dr. Shyamasree Sur, she will be basically focusing upon the positives. So here I have highlighted some of the points in which we are in negative environment. So we are not moving. We are not going to the next scientific conference because it is quite cancelled. I myself, to tell you very frankly, had 4 international conferences in Dhaka, in Stockholm, but I could not move out, and I don't know when I will be able to, because in the European countries, there is a basically 2-year carefulness that maybe nobody will be able to travel or do their job live. But we have to accept the new normal. We may have to arrange for a Zoom or a Google Meet or a learning management system through which we can go. And then why this fear? Because we may be infected with this virus. Now, as we know, there are very few people who has been cured. Though there are a lot of reports that it has been cured, but we cannot move on. We cannot move in the academic arena, in the academic context, because we are wondering it will be really possible for us, whether we will be moving or not moving, because in our lane, in everyone's lane, there is so much fear that maybe they are not going out of their homes also. So there's a last point which I would like to focus. We will not be allowed to reconsider our life choices and make new directions for ourselves. So we are basically in a directionless situation. We are in such a situation that we have actually sat on a flight, but the flight is not taking us to that direction which we are supposed to go. So we are in a very difficult situation and in a very difficult position. So now we find that we are in a total media frenzy environment. Now outside world has become very different nowadays. It has become very changed, and the outside world is constantly changing. How? Through the media, through the internet. We are basically in such a zone that between two persons there is a medium. That is, there is a PC, there is a mobile, there is a computer. So between two persons we cannot basically meet. We can only interact through the third level, that is the third context, which may be a device, which may be an electronic device, and mostly these are electronic devices. So what is happening? We are basically trying to do something positive, but little by little it is becoming very much worse. So we also find that there are a lot of behavioral changes among them. What are those? Like in the context of telephonic or net exchange between interaction, which I am trying to tell, there are other people's behavior also. Some are negative, some are positive, some are in professional life backstabbers, some are basically exploders. So there are a lot of people who are trying to give a proper direction, either positively or negatively. That is through the media level, since you are not going out. Media level means the electronic level. The only way you can communicate is through mobiles, through laptops, through desktops, through other different softwares. But all those are electronic devices, mind you. And when we are in a face-to-face situation, we can explain ourselves. But in the Zoom meet or in the Google meet, maybe it is always not possible. So there is always a thing for miscommunication, and then you are only dependent on your electronic devices. So as we can see that there is a constant change. For example, we all are teachers mostly here. So there is a constant change, and this type of change where we find, unfortunately, the classes where the students are there, okay. So my classes where the students have completely shifted in online platform. So that is totally same altogether, because I don't what are the different types of students. Okay, so there is a constant change. Why I am telling you? Because there is a digital divide. Unfortunately, we are not focusing upon that. That is on the students. Students who are our future. Some students are still in the digital divide. They are not able to access the internet. Maybe there are economic problems. Then there are certain other network issues also. But we are running with our own modes, with our own systems, and we are not concerned about those. And when I ask myself that when I will return to the classroom, that also is not possible to answer. Yesterday there was a meeting in my Adamas University School of Education. So there is since they are quite advanced, so they have taken online admissions through online counseling. Many of you might be knowing that because there are a lot of new normal things going on. But when the students have asked many of the students have asked that when they will be able to go to the classroom, or when the students are going to go into the four walls or four boundaries of the university. It was very difficult for a very important position member to answer that. So that was also a very difficult question which is to be answered, because there is no students. If we are looking into the psychological term of stress management, then we tell it client. We don't tell male, female, boy, girl. We tell the term as client. But we don't have any client contact, or we don't have a student contact. And you also cannot monitor. Like, for example, there are a lot of universities who are taking online examinations. Fine, that is very good. For the students, it is wonderful. But it is very difficult to answer that whether it is properly monitored or whether we can monitor it. That is also another very big question. So this is also a momentarily stressful thing. Because some teachers are really constantly worried about their students' well-being. So that is also another position which is to be looked upon. Next, please. Next slide. I have tried to make it a bit interesting with a lot of pictures, and most of the things which I have, Mr. Ponchanan Halder, please stop the sharing. You are not sharing the screen. So, as we can see that I have given references of two very important friends of mine in the last, which I will acknowledge. So some pictures have been taken from their presentation. So we find that there are new routines and expectations which I have already discussed before. So we actually, what is the most important thing which I have observed? Most of us, those who are online, because I have this online experience for the last, I think, 4 months continuously, because Adamas University, the total Adamas University is following this whole pattern. What we find is there is no routine, no proper sort of daily work which is we are properly maintaining, but we are not properly maintaining the time. We are taking classes of the B.Ed students, which was basically, for example, the final year B.Ed students, their exam teaching was taken online. I mean, their final teaching exam, which the B.Ed level has a very important syllabus thing. So their demo teaching was taken around 11:30, 10:30, 11 in the night. I am not criticizing anybody. I am not telling anything, but we have lost our sleep actually. We constantly wash our hands. We constantly look into the personal hygiene, but we don't look into the time. Sometimes we sleep 4 to 5 hours a day. So this is a very much stressful attitude, because our body is not going to accept. After 4 or 5 months, we are definitely going to break down. And then there are a lot of diseases which we will be carrying. Other than COVID, we will be carrying a lot of diseases. Most of it will be insomnia. Now, insomnia is a disease which cannot be cured at a given amount of time. Everything can be cured because we are becoming very much accustomed to this. And we are constantly anxious. We are actually not sleeping. Why? Because we are stressed. We are very much anxious. We are thinking that what will be the next educational policy? We are thinking that what will be the next day of our joining the job? We are thinking that whether our area will be in a curfew situation. So we are losing our sleep. We are losing our sleep in over small matters where we used to sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. But now just ask yourself, because I am a motivational speaker and I can vouch to you all, those who are listening, you ask yourself that how much peaceful sleep you had. Maybe you had, but now you are losing them. Can we go to the next slide for everyone? Because I have myself ready, but people will be very much bored if they see the same slide. So unless uncertainty is there, so what will happen to us? There will be conflict. Then there will be the most common answer that we are not in a very good situation. Then if we are going to the market also, okay, in the street also, we are showing that there are a lot of people who are distracting us, wearing masks. Then some people are frightened. So I would like to give a very live example. I'll give live examples. I don't depend upon the slides I present. I will share with you how people are stressed, especially the lower level people who are earning a livelihood day to day. Very unfortunate. One of my friends has ordered for a Amazon Amazon staff has come. That guy, when he has knocked her door, that guy was severely frightened, and he just threw the person to my friend. My friend is my next door neighbor. She is also a teacher of the Calcutta University Department of Sociology. So she was just awestruck by the behavior. But later on, that person has called her and apologized to her. She has told that this is not my behavior, but I am very frightened. So my friend has told her that why then you took this assignment. So he told, very unfortunately, that he has to depend on the day-to-day living. But he is very nervous, he is very frightened, but he has to basically do his job. So this is the situation, that how stressed we are. I am giving you a very live example, and you can know very well that in what status we are in. Basically, the people who are having their day-to-day livelihood, day-to-day job, that is very endless uncertainty, I would like to say. Then, the next slide. So we are respecting less and we are hating the people more. Okay. So this is basically known as the tactile chain of protection. We are protecting ourselves. In our need of protecting ourselves, we are harming or disrespecting the others, especially our colleagues, our competitors, whom we say. And then we are constantly, recommendations are there. We are constantly looking upon our personal hygiene, and we are becoming obsessed. Actually, some of my very known persons, they have been affected with OCD. Do you know what is OCD? OCD is a disorder which we constantly repeat the things. We constantly wash our hands, we constantly do things. So these are the things we do out of stress. And it is very good practice. It is a very good practice to wash our hands. But some of the persons who are affected with OCD, they are always in the washing room area. So this is also one thing which is very much stressful. So the question is, how effective is this procedure? If we touch our objects' clothes and we are wearing outside after washing our hands. We are constantly washing hands, then we are turning on the mask. We are constantly turning on the mask and then washing our hands. So what is the solution to this? Next, please. So the new important question here, that who we are basically. Do we understand ourselves? We are constantly in the new routine, as I have told you before, and we are in a different belief, and we are in a belief through our different digital system of learning that this virus will one day go away. Like it came, it will go away. So what is your choice? I would like to ask you, is it a positive frame of mind or is it a negative frame of mind? So good morning, which I am trying to tell you, though it is good afternoon, but good morning, what will be your choice? It will be a positive choice or a negative choice, because we are in a very negative situation. So we have to be very positive. If we are not positive, then we will have to be in a panic-stricken or in a panic-shaped situation. We will be in total madness, that is. Now, next. So I am trying to give you some solutions which I have observed, I have read thoroughly. So you should be very much aware of your body, mind and soul at this moment. You should have a note. You should have a note in your diary, in your writing pad, that what are the causes of the stress you had in the last week. You have to basically identify and list the things, that what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses you have. So you have to overcome the weaknesses and you have to embrace the stress, or you have to embrace the positive things of stress. And you have to identify that what are the things which are making you stressful. And in that context, you have to go and love the life. Next, please. Next slide. So you have to love the life you have while you create the life of your dreams. So you have to become more stronger. When there are no cars, no trains, no open shops, everything, there is a feeling of discomfort we can understand. But you have to accept that. You have to move on. You have to see that there are empty roads. And if you are walking alone, you have to be in a proper framed position of mind where you will be able to cope up with your stress, because you are basically your own guardian. Nobody is going to counsel you. First, you have to counsel yourself. First, you have to make yourself stress-free. Other than that, it is not possible. In general, there will be a feeling of discomfort. There will be a threat of existence. But you have to come out of that situation. You have to be more confident. You have to be more careful. And another thing which I have learned in this last 3.5 months, you have to be well read. You have to read. If you are not reading, there is too much information on the internet. There are too much information on these television channels. So you go to the positive aspects of life. There are a lot of things. We as teachers, there are a lot of webinars which are very much insightful. There are a lot of workshops on the massive open online courses like MOOC. There are a lot of new normal technologies which we are trying to follow, like the cooperative learning system, the collaborative learning system. So we should actually try to embrace that. We should try to do that things in such a manner so that we will be able to look at the positive things. We, as human beings, we will be focusing upon all the aspects of COVID, all the aspects of pandemic. But can we just shift it away, shift it from our life and go to a new platform, a new way of learning, a new positive thing? Can we do it 80% in our day so that we can embrace those things, we can embrace the new technologies, and we don't get ourselves stressed and burdened with the COVID-19 situation, because this is not going to help us. Next, please. So, it is better that we don't suffer. Actually, we are mass suffering. So, it is not possible to continuously suffer. It is better to become bold and flexible with a lot of things which should be positive, and we become more resilient. Because what we say is that when anyone hits you constantly anyone is hitting you, somewhere you will find that hitting thing, it has become a constant. You are not getting that pain. That pain, we have the opportunity to see others experience the same way. We are not pained. When someone is hitting me continuously, after a time, that pain will also die. It will become flexible. We will become resilient. So, we don't have to be so much desperate, but at least we can be resilient. Next, please. Now, the psychological part. Okay. Now, what is the psychological state of people nowadays? It is very difficult because nation by nation there is a difference. Okay. So we can basically, my observation is to help the young, the adolescents, children or people. They are in a completely directionless position. Especially what we have observed, the final year students, they don't know that what is going on. They don't know whether they will be sitting for the exams or they are not going to sit for the exams. So we as teachers, we should encourage them, we should counsel them continuously so that they can become very much confident, and then we can have conversations, personal conversations. How many of us here are having personal conversations? I get in a survey that 90% of the teachers who are having online courses, they have lost their personal life. But we should not do that. We should have the personal conversations with loved ones to celebrate birthdays and parties in online platforms. Like in our School of Education, Adamas University, we have celebrated many of the birthdays. We have celebrated many of the great stalwart days online mode, so that we don't get stressed or we don't get bored. I am also highlighting upon other general colleges, other teacher education institutions who have done the same thing. They have also followed through WhatsApp group. So that is also a welcome change. Everyone should do that. So psychological state of people is not good nowadays. So we have to come out of that situation. Now the next. Now I am stressing upon some of the mental issues, health outcomes here. The dark side is that which I have told you before. This mental outcome will follow in the future. That is definitely who are not following the routine. And how coronavirus will change our world. Because fatigue, we are basically fatigued. If you are sitting in front of a laptop or a computer for a long time, your eyes will get stressed. You are getting fatigued. And sometimes you sleep. If you can ask yourself, you sleep basically. Sitting in front of the computer or on a laptop, you sleep because you are fatigued. And then you wake up, you find that you are sitting and sleeping because you are so fatigued in your mind. And I gather out of the 218 participants who are very active on the internet and computer, they will be agreeing to my knowledge. Because this has happened to me also. I admit in every context, because I am very straightforward person, in my fatigue I have slept sitting down, and after 1 hour I have found that I was basically sleeping out of fatigue. Alarming situation where most of the persons, they don't have anything to do, so they are getting very much frustrated. So these are the new mental health outcomes. Next slide, please. So we have to basically come out of that. We have to visualize. We have to see. So how we have to overcome this stress? So we have to meditate. Then we have to behave our stress in. We have to control this stress in a proper manner. And the voice of my stress, we have to experience this stress. So basically these are the questions you should answer yourselves. I am asking you the question since this is not a workshop, but I love interactions, but time is very short. 3 or 4 questions you can answer. Being in contact with my stress makes me feel what? Okay. Then the taste of my stress is what? The smell, the voice of my stress is what? So these are some of the things which you may answer it yourselves. Okay, because this is not a workshop, so I am not expecting, but you can self-introspect yourself. Okay, that's what is going on. Okay. Now next. Now this is also a type of workshop mode which I have tried to give interaction. You can answer it if you like. If you may not answer it, but this is totally a self-introspection. I am not asking you to answer me, but you can take a screenshot and you can self-introspect. Being in contact with my stress makes me feel what? You answer it yourself. When I think about stress, my body does what? Then when I am under stress, I behave how? I behave good, I behave bad, I behave ugly, I behave in a positive manner. Okay, so these are some of the questions which I basically believe in the interactive mode. I basically am a student of history, but unfortunately I don't follow the lecture method. In all my classes, I do presentation like this way because I don't believe in this lecture method system where the guru is giving shiksha to the students and the students are listening to him or her blindly. I like my students or the audience to answer me. Okay. So what will be the answer when I first experience stress? When I am stressed, what will be my first thought? So please take a screenshot and you just self-introspect. You self-evaluate that what you do with this. So then there are certain questions also related to color. Because in my opinion, those who have very good knowledge about psychology, they will be knowing that the behavior and the color is very much interrelated in psychology. Okay, so the smell, the taste, the voice, the experience, everything is psychologically metered. Okay, so you can, we are very much in a favorable situation nowadays because of Google. So if you Google search it, you will find it that what is the state of mind. Just tell your color. That if my stress has a color, you just honestly give the color. Now you will find there are a lot of tests in psychology which you will find you will get your own answer. You don't have to go to any psychiatrist. You can self-introspect yourself in what state of mind you are in what experiencing stress you are in. If you answer and do the Google search, you will get your answer. So this is the impact, stress impact. It is the reaction of the body and mind. When faced with lot of challenges, there are positive things. And I have taken a quotation from Lassus and Folkman of 1984, which I am dictating. Stress arises in any event, situation or circumstances occurring in an individual's environment, which is perceived by the individual to be threatening his/her well-being and healthy functioning. So, stress therefore has a physical, psychological and spiritual impact on our mind, body and soul. These are the types of stress which we have, not negative, but we are also having positive stress. It can be viewed as a growth and development, a challenge, a positive challenge. So this is basically a psychological theory of Hans Cell, and it is the stimulation to growth and development. It is challenge and variety. It is basically the spice of life. That is forward moving, goal oriented, and in achieve, this is a achiever thing. And the negative stress is distress basically. We are in a stressful situation, so we are distressed. I will not basically take much time upon the negative things. I am highlighting, because too much negative things I have discussed. I am highlighting upon the positive things. So we basically should be moving forward. We should be having the goal-oriented thing. We will be carrying on with our basic goal of self-development, self-well-being, so that we will be able to survive in the long run, because we don't know that how much time we are having in our own home or in our own safety nest. Whether it is safe or unsafe, we don't know that also. So it is common, do you know, or how do we view stress? So it is too little boredom, too much burnout. So it is because of stress that people learn how to adjust. So this is one very positive aspect of stress, you know. Because of stress, people learn to adjust or adapt to the environment. They know that there is a fear of dying every day, but when we overcome it, after 3 months, we overcome it, so it becomes a positive stress. So we become very much, what should I say? We become very much bold. We become a personality which we have never expected before in our lives. So sometimes there is a very soft personality, but out of this positive stress, that personality becomes a very strong and bold personality. So that is also one thing which is very important. So our body, our mind, our emotion and behavior, these are the 4 things. Stress is a common factor. So these are the types of stress we are having, but we have to overcome this. We are overcoming this in certain ways, which our next speaker will highlight upon. But these are the basically, we are conjoined with body, mind, our behavior, our emotion. So this is the white mind, actually. We are having a mind which is basically very positive, the wise mind. But it has changed. It has changed constantly. It has changed in a very positive way, and maybe in a negative or in a gray way. In psychological terms, we have become very wise. Previously, we have become very reasonable. As we can see in the mind mapping picture, it is a reasonable mind. Now, reasonable mind and emotional mind was conjoined, but now in the middle, we have become wise. We have become a wise person out of these experiences. Dealing with stress, we find that there are a lot of mindful exercise, lot of awareness. Lot of awareness program you might have to adopt. Yoga is one of them. Meditation exercises are another. Then we have to go for stress management programs, which I have already told you. We have to go for learning management programs, which are not related totally with COVID, but we can self-develop ourselves. Then there are a lot of massive open online programs. Then we are having peer-to-peer program. We can come out in a group digitally and we can basically go through that programs. So we can deal with stress in a very positive way. Better to avoid unnecessary stress. You change the situation. You are the driver. You are the driver of your destiny. You are the driver. You are the pilot of the flight. So don't just mix or speak with people who are very much nervous or those who are negative. You change the reaction. You just learn to say no. Learn to say no to the situation. And you avoid people, avoid things which stress you. You take control yourself of the environment. And you just look upon the positive things, that what you will do, what you have planned out for the day in a positive way, in a positive manner. After the situation, you can express your feelings in an open and respectful way instead of bottling them up. And you can speak to your friend, you can speak to your very good neighbor, you can speak to anyone over the phone, you can burn it out through the exercise. So you can do a lot of things. Next slide, please. Go to the this adapt to the stressor. You may reframe your problems. You may see this stressful situation in a more positive manner. And this big picture, how important will it be in the long run? One year you have to live in a day. So I am basically watching some of the movies. So one movie which comes to my mind, don't know whether you all have seen or not, because my students are very much excited when I take names of movies. So one movie which I have come to my mind is Kal Ho Na Ho. Okay, so this Kal Ho Na Ho is one movie which is basically not so much popular or something, but in this frame of mind, we see that we have to look upon this type of movies, English movies, Hindi movies, Bengali movies, where we see that there are a lot of adjustment standards. We are living our own destiny. We are living our own minds. So we have to focus on the positive. We have to focus on the new normal. Next, please. We have to accept the things you can't change. You have to control the situation. You have to control the uncontrollable. Many things are out of our control, out of our grip. But that doesn't mean that you will just lose your grip, you will lose your confidence, you will lose your self-belief. For the people who are trying to discourage you, who are trying to malign you, you just don't confront with them. You move on. You free yourself from those burdens, because that is also another stress. This is mainly related to the job area. Okay. This is basically a thing which is very much related to our professional life. Because you cannot fight with them. They are not sitting with you in your desks. They are not sitting with you in your staff room. So without thinking about them, you just move on. You just forgive and forget. So you will be very much avoiding the stressful situation if you do that. It will be good for your mind and body and soul. If you think that I am doing for good for my own well-being, then you will be able to move on. But if you think that you are not doing that for anyone, then you cannot move on. So think for your own good. You think that you are doing it for yours. So this is the exercise, balloon exercise basically. We don't have 10 minutes, but you can take a screenshot. You have to write down a few sentences or draw something that represents your story. I mean, if you are stressed, you just visualize it. You don't have to be a painter, actually. You don't have to be an artist. You just see that what are the changes that is coming to your body, that is coming to your mind, the emotions that you are feeling, as well as the changes in your behavior. Then you experience the stress. The emotions, the emotional level, emotional 1, emotional 2, emotional 3. So these are the levels. So this is a balloon exercise where you will find that there are a lot of things. You have to self-introspect yourself. You self-introspect and you find out that what is going on. So there are some support system you have to establish during this COVID-19 scenario. This situation cannot be overcome by establishing a support system in the environment that is able to meet the needs of the individual. So it is very much environmental related. Okay. So environment does not mean that you are building a relationship, that you are establishing a co-regulation and you are creating it yourself. Actually, silence enables the experience of what is said. So you are in a vulnerable position. You have to come out of that position. You have to take out something from your environment in a positive manner so that you can move on. Next, please. So I have tried to share the emotional states in a YouTube video, but it is not possible now to show it to you. So I am just telling you that your emotional mind or emotional well-being is a state where you are not in a very good manner. So it is very great if you share your emotional state with your very close friends. Don't share it with someone whom you don't know. You share it with someone who are very close to you, who cannot harm you in any way. You can take the Johari window exercise. You can see in the YouTube, you can, the Johari window exercise is there. I have given a lecture on Johari window in Siddhinath Mahabidyalaya organized webinar. It is there in the YouTube, in the Siddhinath Mahabidyalaya. You can subscribe there. In this emotional state, why I am telling you not to publicize, but you can, if you can see, if you can search in the YouTube, the Johari window, you will find that you yourself can self-introspect yourself in a positive way and through your close group of friends. Most of us don't know what is Johari window. We are actually in such a state, we are not reading much. Okay. So please share it with your friends, with your families, and you self-introspect yourself, self-evaluate through these type of lessons. Then we have to move on. Next. Now these are some These are some of the colors. Previous, please. Previous. These are some of the colors of our mind, actually. I told you, this is very much related to psychology. If you see that what type of color represents what type of situation we are in, you will be in a very positive frame of mind. So, in this frame of mind, you will be able to embrace yourself in a positive situation in certain ways, certain aspect, which you will have to yourself self-evaluate, self-create, self-realize. Okay? So the last slide, whom I will acknowledge, because all this, some of them are mine. Next slide, please. So these are my two friends. Some of them are being taken from some of the sources, but the psychological context has been taken from these two very good friends, Blagika Rizovska-Vanitske and Alexandra Sumar. They are very Russian friends. They have been very much helpful. We are working on a project, on an international project. This has got shelved because of this, of course, pandemic situation, but we are working online, trying to bring out the papers. So I am very much thankful to them. They are very much, I would like to say thanks. Why? Because they are very much good. They are very much helpful. They like to share their things with the world. So in our minds, especially, don't take it otherwise, in our Indian minds, sharing thing is very less. Sharing thing are very less. But in foreign countries, these sharing things are very less. So they have wisely encouraged me to go on with their slides and go on with the pictures, so that I can be able to help you people and help you all in this context. And you can also find this in the slide share. The presentation is there in the slide share, but this is not downloadable. The thing is, we have to take the copyright from them, and they have given the copyright to me. So I can basically, I have taken this copyright from them so that I can share it with you and help you. And they are very much eager to share it with you also. So thank you one and all for listening to me. I don't know whether I have bored you or whether I have been able to help you, but I have tried to basically give you important points, important insights in my interactive way. Try not to do it in a lecture method. I don't like lecture method basically. So thank you one and all and for listening for this. I think more than 1 hour. You have been patient enough. So with that, I'm closing, and I am thanking all the organizers for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much for organizing this webinar, for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Rampurhat College, the teacher in charge, and all those IQAC, Mr. Or Dr. Arindam Gangopadhyay, everyone involved in this. Those name whom I have not taken, I am apologizing for the same. But I am thankful to all the organizers, all the participants who have been patient enough to listen to me. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you so much.
We thank Dr. Prarthita Biswas for her eloquent speech, which had a pacifying effect on her listeners. Her excellent articulation worked as an illumination in these unprecedented times of this pandemic situation. For any queries, participant, you can write in the chat box. You can write your questions also, write down. Before the end, we will discuss on that matter. Now I would like to invite Dr. Arindam Sinha, Associate Professor and IQAC Coordinator, Rampurhat College, to deliver his observation. Dr. Arindam Sinha.
Well, thank you, Professor. Thank you, Dr. Acharya. And I would like to thank Professor Prarthita Biswas, Dr. Prarthita Biswas, for an excellent presentation. I would like to inform you that I have, for some technical difficulties, I failed to connect myself with my own devices. So I also extend my gratitude and thanks to my colleague, Dr. Devajyoti Samanto, who has lent his ID to interact with you. So it's a nice experience. I must admit that Dr. Prarthita Biswas so comprehensively discussed the whole matter in a such lucid way that we the laymen, we don't have expertise on the psychological niceties or psychological aspects of a very intricate problem we are facing day to day in our lives. So nicely presented by her and so lucidly explained all the things that I think the participants, among whom some students are there, some erudite persons are there also, and knowledgeable and informed persons are also. Maybe that most of them are not from the Department of Education, or they do not have the idea of psychology as such. Still, I'm confirmed that because of her excellent presentation, and that is lucid too, so all of us who are listening to listening to her, sorry, uh, have understood the problem what she intended to convey. But thanks again to Dr. Prarthita Biswas. And at the same time, what I want to add a thing that is the new normal, it's a coinage by, as I'm a student of political science and as well as social science, I want to like to share my thought with the participants as well as the panelists that the coinage of the word very phrase new normal is the handiwork, quote unquote, of the neoliberal dispensation. So the neoliberal attitude or ethics to our lives, what Dr. Biswas has referred to in a very oblique manner, that we are not attending to the problems of the large minority who are the sufferers of this digital divide. If I am wrong, if I am right, that she has referred correctly to the digital of the new normal. Not that it was not there, but due to this pandemic situation, when we are speaking of or talking about, when we are I must continue that not that it was not there before this pandemic situation, before this lockdown, the new word lockdown, quarantine, it has become the household word. Before that, the neoliberal capitalist developmental projects and their cultural packages, which are already there. I think after this pandemic situation, if this situation will be over someday, we hope that the system of governance and system of management will not be altogether changed. And the stress is always related to our system of governance in a very large sense. So if there is competition, cutthroat competition, it is not new. The competition is not new. If we are forced into a market competition and everything is being commodified, then the stress management has become very difficult. And it was during this situation, as we are cooped up, I quote Dr. Prarthita Biswas, she has written in her, I have got it from Dr. Acharya, just cooped up. We are cooped up in our home, and that's become very much unbearable for most of the people living in this situation. We are coping with this situation. So, yes, Dr. Biswas has rightly pointed out the measures as to how we have to cope with this situation. At the same time, I think that every man is considered to be rational. Every man and woman considered to be rational. It's an so emotional elements are there. So if we are able to rationalize the situation we have fallen into, then I think it will be very. We need not be an expert, but we have to apply our mind, the rational mind, to rationalize the situation. Then I think that it will be easier for us to overcome this situation very easily. But at the same time, she has prescribed, referring some sources, that there should be we should take some steps and measures to overcome the situation as we are confined to the four walls of our home. So we have to have some entertaining elements in our life, daily life. Maybe it is reading, it is listening to music, maybe it is gossiping with the near and dear ones over video calling or etc., which we are talking about very in the media. So we are in the midst of the onslaught of media information, rather. So the reality we have before us is always mediated reality. Is always mediated reality. So we have to filter out the elements, the news which are fake, which are threatening, which are terrorizing. So we should not get terrorized. And media in Bengali, I will translate it rather for my non-Bengali participants, that media santras, the media terror. So in this mediated reality, we have to have some measures that will help us to just filter out the news which is relevant to our lives, which are not. So I will not lengthen my speech here, because Dr. Shyamasree Sur is waiting for delivering her speech. I hope, as one of the part of the organizers, along with my colleagues, who have helped us to a great extent, that Dr. Biswas' presentation was very informative, very comprehensive as well. At the same time, I hope that something positive, which already Dr. Biswas has told us, that something positive will be dealt with in the paper presented by Shyamasree Sur. So I welcome on behalf of the IQAC Rampurhat College, Dr. Shyamasree Sur to present her paper. Before I am returning my microphone to the main architect of this webinar, Dr. Saumyajit Acharya. Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Arindam Sinha, for his observation as a panelist. Now I would like to invite Dr. Shyamasree Sur. She is our honorable speaker today. I want to give a brief introduction about her and the awards and accolades received by her. Dr. Shyamasree Sur is the head of the Department of Siddhinath Mahabidyalaya, and he is also an assistant professor of that college. Previously, she has served as a faculty of Siddhinath Mahabidyalaya. Previously, she has served as a faculty of Dabra Institute of Education and Technology. She was famous. She was former guest lecturer of Prarthita College and former visiting professor at Central University of Jharkhand. She has obtained master degree in education, English and adult education. In the year 2017, she has completed her PhD from Kalyani University. She has presented papers in several international and national seminars and conferences. Among them, one of the organizers was Vivek College of Education, Viznor Scientific and Academic Publishing, USA. She has completed a number of workshops. Dr. Sur has organized several national seminars and webinars. She is a popular resource person also. Please welcome Dr. Shyamasree Sur.
Thank you, sir. I feel proud, privileged, and I feel honored that I have given opportunity to present myself as a speaker or resource person in a national level webinar at Rampurhat College, organized by Department of Education. I want to thank the convener, Dr. Saumyajit Acharya, the head and assistant professor, Department of Education of the same college, the chief patron, Dr. Ashish Banerjee, and Dr. Arindam Gangopadhyay, Dr. Arindam Sinha, and Dr. Buddhadeb Bhattacharya. And also, I am thankful to my previous presenter, Dr. Prarthita Biswas also. So already too much time I have already gone. So I don't want to waste my time in just lecturing. So I just want to start. Today we have come to the webinar on New Horizons in COVID-19, hobbies as a way of managing stress. As I have already discussed about the stressors and what are the causes of stress, too many negative aspects of stress, how to feel when we are stressed. And now to overcome this stress in this COVID pandemic situation, we will discuss some positive aspects, because there always, we know, there is some ray of hope. So hobbies as ray of hope. Yes, hobby is an activity or interest, you know, and the hobby, the term is come from the small horse, that is pony, and we can also term it as hobby horse. And all of us know that hobby is our favorite pastime. Having a hobby that we enjoy brings us joy and enriches our lives. You know, obviously it's an opportunity to develop our skills also. We learn new skills, and we are quite fortunate that we have accepted many hobbies during this situation, COVID situation, because for a long time we are at home, we cannot go outside, we cannot interact with people, we have to keep social distancing. So we are keeping ourselves inside and confined ourselves at the four walls of the room. So we have to develop new hobbies, to develop some new skills. Yes, cultivating a new hobby. The best way to cultivate new hobby is to try something new, because we know the world is full of wonderful things. There are many exciting activities. We can nurture those things. They are very unique in nature, and those we have never practiced. This is the high time to practice them, and if we are passionate about them, we can easily adapt them in our lifestyle. Now, there are several reasons why should we nurture our hobbies. There are several advantages of hobbies. The first one is it makes you more interesting. Obviously, if the hobbies are not interesting to you, you will not find any interest or motivation to nurture that hobbies or to make this practice. So it must be interesting. Next, now second point is it helps to release stress. We have we have heard so many things about the stress. What are the causes of stress? What the stress situation in this pandemic situation? Our respected previous speaker has given a focus towards many things about this stress and how to overcome stress. So this is a very unique thing, and hobby is a very unique thing to relieve your stress, because everyone want to relieve our stress, because if we don't relieve our stress, we cannot balance our life. We cannot balance our personal life and social life, and we cannot do that. So we most of them, we want to relieve our stress to make our life beautiful and to balance them. Yes, hobbies help you become more patient. You know, in this situation, because we cannot go outside room, we cannot interact people, so it's quite we over angry, and there are conflict situation arises. So it's quite screen sharing has been stopped, I think. Yes, where I was, hobbies help you become more patient. Why? Because we know in this pandemic situation, we cannot go out, we cannot interact people, we have to maintain social distancing. Even if we go out, we have to wear masks. So we are becoming impatient day by day. So, and this reflection comes to our household work. We are getting angry with our family members. So it's we understand that we are becoming impatient, but we cannot do anything. We are so helpless. So hobbies help you to become more patient, and it's also adds to your learning curve. And you will need to be patient in order to build your skills. Number 4 is having a hobby can help you social life and create a bond with others. Yes, because you know nowadays social media, Facebook has become more popular. Already it was popular, but in last 4 months in this pandemic situation, it has become more popular. What we are doing, we are creating something, and we are sharing, we are posting these things with your friends, and we are in public post, and in such a way we are creating a bond with our friends, with our colleagues, and we are nurturing our hobbies also. So whether you join a club or play in a league, just give others with the fruits of your labor. A hobby is a great way to meet and get closer people have same interest you do. Advantages of hobby. Number 5 is it increases your confidence and self-esteem. Yes, the odds that you are really enjoy an activity, you are usually pretty good at it. Any activity that you can excel is an opportunity for you to build your confidence and develop pride in your accomplishment. Yes, that the hobbies you could not practice due to shortage of timing for long days. This is a high time to nurture all these hobbies, and it also gives you a self-confidence. Yes, and self-esteem also. Hobbies can reduce and eradicate boredom. We in this pandemic situation, all the children and also with the adults, we are getting too much bored, and we cannot think what should we do. Some of us, and even, especially the children also, they are even bored with online classes. So if we help them to nurture some hobbies, some like gardening or playing with dolls or cooking or making things, it will help to eradicate your boredom. It helps to develop new skills. A hobby that you really dedicate your time will lead you to build new skills. As you spend more time at your hobby, it will become better and better. Obviously, it's for me. I can share my experience, because I never knew cooking, and I never liked it also. But in this pandemic situation, I developed this new skill of cooking. And for after some days, say after 1 month, I started loving cooking. It's a change within me. I never thought that I can cook and I will love cooking. I just developed a new skill, and I feel self-confidence and self-esteem I have built in myself that I can cook. Next is it increases your knowledge. Along with building new skills, you will also gain new knowledge through the development of your hobbies. Yes, obviously because we are nurturing it, we are getting practice it, and rote learning, it's very much helpful and effective to learn any new skills. So its knowledge gaining is also possible through the hobbies. And it enriches your life and gives you a different perspective of things. No matter what types of hobby you choose, you will definitely be exposed to new ideas. Yes, you will become creative person. You will be astonished to see yourself. You will be surprised that you could do new things. You never thought or never believed that you could do these things, but you have developed these new skills, these ideas in this situation through your hobbies. It challenges you. Yes, when you pick a new hobby, you will be involved in activities that are novel and challenging. For me, I have just shared my experience that in cooking, there are several complex skills in cooking. I was very scared that if the cooked food is not burned in the oven, or what is the timing, what is the ingredients should I use. It was quite challenging to me. And when my mother left the total responsibility of cooking one day in my shoulder, I was so scared. Should I complete this work without anyone's help? But yes, I could. I could make it. And I cooked all the food all by myself in one day without anyone's help. It's almost challenging. It was very much challenging rather than writing a research paper for me. Cooking was too much challenging to me. So obviously, hobby is challenging. It helps prevent bad habits and wasting time. Sometimes, we spend time idly without doing nothing, or bogus chatting with friends, nothing doing useful or effective for us or for anyone. So if we develop some hobbies, then it will help us to make you creative. And idle hands are devil's workshop. So if we do not sit idly, we can develop new ideas and new skills, and it will be helpful for us to build new development for new activities, and we will spend much less time in negative activities. Hobbies reduce stress. Yes, already I have discussed in the second slide that hobbies helps us reduce stress. We are very much stressed in our job, not outside, but now we are doing this job work from home context. But there is much pressure, some phone calls from our boss, and we have deadlines to complete the syllabus, to make the target, and for everything we got stressed. But for at least 1 hour, keep aside this and do whatever you think, whatever you make you feel happy. Do that thing. May it be singing, may it be cooking, may it be cleaning the room. Even it can also be your hobby. It will reduce your stress. Obviously, believe me, it will reduce your stress. You nurture your hobbies at least for 1 hour one day. It will help you. Now I will discuss some health benefit of hobbies. One study has found that those who engage in physical leisure activities for at least 20 minutes once a week are less susceptible to fatigue. If we know we are all susceptible to fatigue, because we are engaged in this online work, we are engaged in the digital world, this work from home environment. So we are much prone to fatigue. Other research found that enjoyable activities performed during leisure time were associated with lower blood pressure, total cortisol, waist circumference, and body mass index, perceptions of better physical function. Such activities were also correlated with high level of positive psychosocial states and lower levels of depression and negative effect. Yes, if you nurture your hobbies, you will get these benefits also. And your stress level will lower. And if your stress level will lower, then you will overcome easily the depression and all the negative effects, the anxiety, the
Excuse
depression,
me, ma'am.
and
Please stop presenting. Any other, please participant, stop presenting. Cooperate with us. Cooperate with the speaker. Thank you. Please cooperate.
okay. Ultimately, the benefits of hobbies, both psychologically and physically, were worth exploring. Find something you enjoy engaging in, and you create time for yourself and your health. And you can also, for health benefit, hobbies are as important, as well as you can do yoga also. That is also a health benefit. That is for your inner benefit, for your emotional benefit, for your spiritual benefit, everything. If you develop these yoga as your hobby, it will be beneficial for overall body and mind and spirit and emotion and for everything. Taking a break. Hobbies provide you a slice of work-free and responsibility-free time in your schedule. This can especially welcome for people who feel overwhelmed by all that they have to do and need to recharge their batteries by doing something for enjoy. You know, even we use the mobile phone. It works day and night. It's so busy in working day and night, but it also takes break when at the night time we switch off our mobile phone and get it for charged for recharging the batteries. Hobby for this is the breaking time of the mobile phone. So if the machine can take a break, why not you? You are not machine. You are a human being. So you should take a break for recharging yourself, for making a new one, for delivering a new aspect, to present yourself in a new way. You should take a break. Feel overwhelmed by responsibility. It may be difficult to find time, but you have to choose a break from your busy schedule. Experiencing new stress. For those who are not overly stressed and actually understimulated, hobbies provide a nice source of stress. The healthy kind of stress that we all need to remain feeling excited about life. If the rest of your life is somewhat dull or uninspiring, hobbies can provide meaning and fun and can break up a boring schedule from without feeling like work. In other words, hobbies can provide just right amount of challenge. Yes, it's also provides stress, that is positive stress, and we know stress must be there in our life, in everybody's life. Without stress, life is there is no meaning of life, and there must be some stress to make us creative and to make our life meaningful. Some amount of stress is needed, but if we are overstressed and we are overburdened, it will hamper your physical and mental life and your every work schedule also. Having social outlet. Many hobbies let themselves in group activities. Golfing, rotation, knitting circle, and creative writing groups are good example. But in this pandemic situation, you will ask me how we can go for social gathering and how we can interact with friends. How we can group activities. We can make group activities. Wait. There are some ways. Even in this pandemic situation, we can share each our ideas. We can share our views. We can do group activities. There are so many social platforms. Apart from Facebook and WhatsApp, there are Zoom, there are Google Meet, Cisco web-based platform, GoToWebinar, and there Google Meet. There are Team Links. There are so many platforms where you can add 100 peoples of your same mind, and you can share ideas. You can chat. You can show your new things. You can show your cooking. You can show your knitting. You can show your gardening. You can show your sapling you are nurturing every day. You can do anything and everything through one device in your hand, that is your mobile phone. You can do everything, and the person you are showing it, he or she or they will be very happy that you are engaged in so many work. And this is the interaction. You can over talk to them in chat. You can talk to them in telephone, in social media. You can use this huge amount, and obviously you are using, you are using this social platform to the fullest. So it will relieve your stress. Obviously it will relieve your stress. Now, enjoying positive pleasure. One term, positive psychology. It's a relatively new branch of psychology that studies what makes life worthwhile. Has discovered that pleasures, activity that bring fun to life, can be wonderful for relaxation and enjoyment of the moment. Pleasure can bring a lift to your mood. Since hobbies generally incorporate pleasures into your life, maintaining hobbies can be good for your overall sense of joy. Obviously, when you are off mood, when we are depressed or off mood, and you cannot, you don't want to do anything, you are very morose. Suppose some kind of music or some kind of song sometimes came to your ear, and you can hear some kind of music. Then and there you become active, and you want to listen what are the singing, from what the sound is coming. Yeah, you are motivated towards that sound, and it relieves your stress, and it makes you happy from that morose condition. This is positive psychology. Sometimes your
Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, madam. Just a minute. Subhash Chandra, please stop presenting. Please cooperate with the speaker.
Sometimes
Okay,
your
ma'am.
son, okay, thank you. Sometimes your son and daughter is asking you to play with them. Yes, obviously you should play with them. If you play with them at least for 1 hour, you will feel a stress relieved condition, and you will get relief from this work from home or digital world. It will be so much beneficial for your mental health also, if you play with them. Even for the I'm talking to the women candidates, the madam, that you are engaged in, this is very what situation for you, I know, for all the female teachers, I know, because it's you are doing work from home, you are engaged in digital technology, as well as you are engaged in household work. Every household work you are doing, you are involved in cooking, you are cleaning the rooms, because there is no maid servant is coming in our house nowadays. So too many work burden, I know your condition, but trust me, don't get stressed. You just make your involved your son or daughter in this work. They will feel happy. They will even you can engage your husband also in this core household works. They will feel happy, and they will easily help you, and the activity will be distributed in equal manner. The level of burden will be reduced. You will be less stressed, and their boredom also will be relieved. The boredom of your family members will also get relieved, and all the family members, you will be very happy, not stressed at all. So it's almost a positive psychology. You should nurture it in yourself. Receiving gratification also from positive psychology. Satisfaction are important activities that bring meaning and fun to life. Gratifications present the kind of challenge that requires us to use some of our best personal skills and engages us in a sense of flow, which can put us in a near meditative state where we lose track of time and feel removed from stressors of life and fully engage in what we are doing. Gratification can lead us to reduction of stress and a sense of well-being, and hobbies are usually experienced as gratification. I've already told you that it will reduce your stress, and also I have just used a term here, meditative state. If meditation means if you at least arrange some half an hour time for your meditation or yoga or something like that, you will feel less stressed and you will feel more active. You will find yourself in a new way to work, in a new Josh. That is your the stability will increase to present yourself in a new way in the next day. So please manage to arrange some time for yourself, at least half an hour or at least 1 hour. It will be very, very helpful for you. Now, stepping out of burnout. Hobbies bring a sense of fun and freedom to life that can help to minimize the impact of chronic stress. Those who feel overwhelmed at job can benefit from hobbies because they provide an outlet of stress. I have already discussed this, and some research shows that who are in stressful jobs that normally contribute to burnout, that is low control, high demand jobs, for example, feel less need to recover from their day at bedtime if they have more physical and social leisure activities are not work related, in other ways more hobbies. So in this way we had need a recover a bedtime were more likely to suffer negative health and wellness. So just to get rid ourselves from negative health and wellness, we have to take some time for ourselves, because if we don't do it, we will be workaholic. And our beloved Prarthita madam also said that we are getting so much stressed nowadays that we have reduced our sleeping time from 8 hours to 4 hours. We have half in our sleeping time, which will get to insomnia. Not only mental wellness but also physical wellness will also hamper. So don't reduce your sleeping time, but reduce your work time, and at least manage one hour to nurture your hobbies. Health benefits of hobbies in other ways. Hobbies can help buffer the effects of stressful job and mitigate factors that contribute to burnout. I've already discussed it. And now I will list. I have made a list of hobbies, but these are not all inclusive. You can add more hobbies to it. Some of them are aquarium making, arts and crafts, cooking or baking, auto repairing, carpentry, ceramics or pottery, coaching little league, computers, gardening, home decorating, hunting, model building, photography, playing music, sewing, singing, stained glass making, volunteering, flower arranging, woodworking. Everything can be a hobby, and the list is not all inclusive. You can add more list in your here. You can increase this list, and it's your homework also. It's your homework also to add some other hobbies in this list. Now, difference among hobby and leisure activities. A hobby would be a passion or interest. You invest time, effort, and often money into a regular constructive activity in deliberate way. And leisure time would be your free time outside work. Other responsibilities including your hobby that you engaged in other recreational and leisure type activities. Is the difference you have to understand. The hobby is the quality time you are investing, whether it is beneficial for any financial benefit or just to recreational benefit. For me, I can share my views because I am very much prone to singing. Actually, I have started learning singing in a very later age, after 30 years of my age. I have not learned in my childhood days singing, but now I do it regularly. For my busy schedule, I could not manage every day to sing or practice rewaj, but whenever I get time, I do it passionately. One time it was my leisure time, but singing now it becomes my hobby, became my hobby. And sometimes, not still now, but sometimes I feel even it can be, even I can invest more time in singing, and it will be more constructive activity. And even if we if I invest more time here, it can make money also. It may be it, but I'm not putting much emphasis to it that I have to do it. I'm not forcing myself to do it. But if I can arrange some time devotedly, it may make some money also from our hobby. So you have to understand the difference between hobby and leisure time. Your leisure time may be your hobby. Leisure activity. An activity chosen for pleasure, relaxation, or other emotional satisfaction, typically after work and other responsibilities are done. And leisure time allows you to step back physically, but most important, mentally from stress. During leisure activities, you will be disconnected from outside world. You will be empowering yourself to deal with situations in a less stressful. But what we do, most of the people, including me, what we do in leisure time, when all the work we have done, all the responsibilities we have done, what we do, we start our leisure time with our mobile phones. We chat with others, and also from that chat we also get stressed. From that social media we also get stressed. But it's my request to, at least for half an hour or 1 hour, switch off your mobile phone, switch off any kind of videos. Just take 1 hour for yourself only for yourself. You think of yourself, you spend time for yourself, you do whatever from yourself. Even you don't interact with others, you don't interact with your family members, you don't interact with your friends, not in phone, not in chat, nothing. You just give 1 hour to yourself for whatever you want to do. This is also a kind of leisure time. It will also fill you in pleasure. Leisure activities. Health is a complex phenomena, analogs to which leisure can also be considered as holistic. It affects our physical, mental, emotional well-being, promotes social integration, socializes, educates, exercises, and effective balancing sexual energies. It can also be means of expressing our identity, and our performance is connected to our natural and built environment. Now, leisure activities reduce stress. I have already discussed this, nothing to say it again and again. In leisure activity, they have lower stress level, better mood, a lower heart rate, and more psychological engagement. That means less boredom, which can help avoid unhealthy behaviors. That is said by Jaworski. Use leisure time to cope with stress. Being busy people, most people carry a heavy load of responsibility for work and family. To remain more proactive, it's our invaluable. I don't waste your time. Sometimes they think that unstructured time, leisure time may feel like wasted time to many. Many of us, we think that hobby or leisure time is unstructured time. Why we do not make a schedule to utilize our time properly? Most of us think that our life is very short. We have to make every moment utilized. To make every moment utilized, some of us, we think, most of us, the teachers nowadays, the teachers who are engaged in higher education department, we think so. but believe me, this will increase your stress only, and it will decrease your capacity to do better things and to develop new skills. It will hamper your daily life. Just give your some time to yourself. I am repeatedly saying again and again. Interestingly, sometimes we need special some idle time, relaxing time, because too much of a wrong kind of unmanaged stress can lead to decreased motivation and even burnout. So we have to know effective coping strategies. Leisure activities for stress relief. There are several activities we do during times of stress. We may think we are just being lazy, but sometimes we know that we truly need more. Some to realize we all need a healthy balance between hard work and rest, because without rest, we cannot do hard work in the next day. Sometimes I also feel when in the morning when I awake from sleep, I feel so lazily. I don't want to work any day. I feel sometimes I pray to God, why God, why didn't you make this day fully free? I can do whatever, but there are some assignments I have to do. I have responsibilities I have to do. I cannot sleep much more. Don't let this day come. If you take proper sleep time, proper rest, this situation and this mentality will never come, that you are praying to God for some more time. Why there is not more, why there is only 25 hours in a day? Why most of us we think why there is not 48 hours in a day? If there are 48 hours in a day, so much work we can do. Even me, I also think in such a way. I have to change my mentality also. So I'm requesting everyone, including me, to change your mentality and to take proper sleep and take proper rest and nurture your hobbies for a better you, to develop new things and for creating new things, creating new ideas, nurture new ideas in the next day. Otherwise, you will be shattered, and the society will also not beneficial from you. Getting your body, there are some activities what we can do, that is walking. We should walk every day at least for 30 minutes. It reduces stress, and obviously when you are going for walking, don't take your mobile phone with you. Please don't take your mobile phone with you. You just go away and just walk for 30 minutes. If you cannot go away, you can go to your rooftop and walk for 30 minutes. At least if not 30 minutes, you please walk for 15 minutes. It will relieve your stress. I think if you find yourself getting sick from the stress, you can go to nature. But this time we cannot go to nature. We have to confine ourselves in 4 rooms. If possible, for any one of you, you can do gardening also. It's a very good hobby which will get you closer to nature. So you can spend at least for 15 to 20 minutes making art. Yes, painting is very good hobby. You can make paint, you can draw, you can color, whatever in your mind. Whatever comes in your mind, you just draw, you just color, you just share color with your children, with your son and with your daughter. And even I can give you a tips. Take a full length art paper, full length white art paper, and make it a border. And if you think suppose there are 4 family members in your family, so in the 4 corner, just make them sit, and each and everyone hand give a pen or pencil or pastel color or whatever thing that they can write anything, they can draw anything, they can paint anything, they can make proper use of this blank art paper, white art paper. After that, 4 of you will feel so happy after seeing that paper. It's a colorful one, and it's a one form of art therapy also. this is not the platform to share about art therapy, but this art therapy is another form of family therapy which also reduce your stress. So art is very important. Involve every family members in art. Knitting is also beneficial. Some of you who want to knit or who have hobby, who are more interested, you can knit yourselves also. You can make your handkerchief beautiful, or your the curtain beautiful, whatever you can knit and you can do these things. Dancing is also some of our hobbies. You can play music and dance, whatever you, in a way, or you can learn steps from learning from YouTube, and you can make choreograph yourself. You can no choreographer is needed. You will be own choreographer of yourself. You will learn the steps and you can dance. And listening music always. Most of us listen music, and it's and also music is can also be a therapeutic value. In later section, if there is if they allow, we can make arrangement to some lecture on music therapy also, how music helps to reduce stress. Watching movies also, you can make a list what movies you are left with, you did not manage time to watch. You can download from YouTube and from internet, and make arrange to watch it. May it be alone, or may it be with family members. You can watch movies. And reading books, obviously reading books is very useful. Most of us, we cannot get time to read books, but if you can read books only for leisure, for your pleasure, it will be effective for you, for refreshing your mind also. Watching aquariums, yes, it will be sometimes it may be foolish to you, watching aquarium. What can we do? But trust me, the movement of fish will bring you a new enjoyment. It will delve deep into you, to the seaside, the nature. You will feel the nature. You will feel that you are in the ocean, that the fishes are moving. You will feel another world. So watching aquarium may be a hobby. Playing with pets, yes, those we have pets, we may manage to spend some time with our pets. It will be very pleasure for our mind also. Choice activities of yours, so don't get stressed even. So what hobby I have to choose. I have given you many options, but don't get stressed yourself also, that what option you have to choose. Or someone sometimes my students also get asked me, ma'am, what hobbies I have to choose? There are so many hobbies, so you have so many options. Just don't get stressed. You just take one or two according to your love, according to your interest, according to your motivation. You just take one or two hobbies and nurture it. You will feel love, you will feel benefited, and it will be helpful for your physical and physical activities, for your mental, for your spiritual, emotional, for every benefit. It will be helpful for you. Sir, Shyamasree sir.
Yes.
I have
Yes, I'm here.
yes, I have completed my lecture. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shyamasree Sur. Her excellent articulation worked as an illumination in these unprecedented times of this pandemic situation. Now I hand it over to Dr. Arindam Sinha to give his valuable speech, or very precisely valuable observation to share with us as a panelist, very precisely.
Thank you, Somo, and thank you, Professor Sur. Observation only. I will not give you. I will not deliver any speech, rather, and I will, as you have told me, that I will complete my observation in a minute or two. So we are already running out of time.
Yes,
I
yes.
think that all of our stomachs are resisting. Most of us are not prepared to continue this for another 1 hour or half an hour to another 1 hour. So
We'll
uh,
complete it within the 1:30. Okay.
1:30. Okay.
Okay. We
So
have
we are
only 5 minutes time.
actually Professor Sood have presented his paper, his her paper with extreme lucidity, and at the same time she pointed out the very important thing of having hobbies. We are actually inculcate in our mind some kind of hobbies, either gardening or listening to music or painting, etc., etc. But he very academically she shows us that how hobbies can help us overcome the stressful situation, and at the same time, he also highlights the negative aspects of hobbies, which uh, may push one into a kind of uh, stressful situation also. But at the same time, what my observation is that the, in this stratified society, we are having hobbies and we are having leisure time. Only the leisurely class, if the paper has been presented from the situation, the paper content of the paper demands it, rather. It has been presented from a very class approach, that is theoretically speaking. So if we think that only the leisure class of a society, they are facing this difficult situation, and they will try to inculcate some hobbies if they don't have so far. That is good for them. At the same time, what I want to point out here, that I would like to request Professor Sood, uh, though it is not within the purview of the paper, by somewhat digressing from the contents, I would like to just point out that the the toiling masses who are being left out of the brutal scenario, but I think that who are the most sufferers, there they don't have any hobby. They are backbiting labor. They have no scope for having some hobbies. So it's a hobby we have only the leisurely classes, leisurely people belonging to leisure class. So, but it is also a fact. It is also a fact that those middle class and upper middle class who are facing difficult situation during the lockdown period are will be benefited from the lectures so meticulously prepared by Professor Sur, that
Okay.
we must have some hobbies, and we should emphasize on having some hobbies so that we can um, cope with the situation more easily, and we can overcome the situation by inculcating some hobbies. Thank you. Thank you for the brevity of time. I will not elaborate more.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
again, Professor Sur.
Thank you.
And
We are.
over to Acharya, Dr. Acharya.
Thank you, Dr. Arindam Sinha. We are at the end of this national webinar. We have received so many questions at the chat box. I will pick only one question. The question is, how can hunting be considered as a constructive hobby? I will repeat. How can hunting be considered as a constructive hobby? Please answer within 1 or 2 lines. It is a huge debatable topic, but we have no time to discuss. Please.
It's to me. It's for me.
Yes.
Acha. Yes. Actually, hunting not that sense. You can take it in a sense that you can anchor. That is, we go to any pond and we can catch fishes. That may be considered as hunting also. That is also maybe for as one of the hobbies. Not to kill animals, but we can take fish from the pond. That is also a hobby.
Okay, thank you. We have received several questions, but there is no time at all. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Buddhadeb Mukherjee, teacher in charge, Rampurhat College, to give vote of thanks. Dr. Buddhadeb Mukherjee.
Yes, Saumyajit, I'm extremely happy as the head of the institution of the organizing institution of the webinar. And the topic of discussion in the webinar, I think, is very, very relevant to the present scenario of the world as well as India. And this relevance is reflected in the number of participants joined in the webinar. And I come to know that it is like 1,520 participants registered. Now we are in the last part of the event, and this is vote of thanks. And it is a formal one. But though it is a formal one, I want to express my gratitude and thanks to the participants, to all the participants who participated in this webinar. Especially, I want to thank Dr. Ashish Banerjee, Minister in charge, Department of Agriculture, Government of West Bengal, as well as an ex-student, an ex-teacher, and present president of the governing body of Rampurhat College, who encouraged us and mentally supported us several times to organize such types of webinar or seminar, etc., and permitted us for this event. I extremely grateful to the two resource persons, two eminent speakers, Dr. Prarthita Biswas, head of the department, School of Education, Adamas University, and Dr. Shyamasree Sur, head of the department, College Siddhinath Mahabidyalaya, West Bengal, for their elaborate and thought-provoking and very interesting presentation, which enriched others, all participants, as well as myself. I want to thank the Department of Education, Rampurhat College, teachers, students, for their for organizing this type of an webinar, which I can to participate also. I especially thanks and grateful to Professor Saumyajit Acharya, head of the Department of Education, who for organize this webinar had and performed almost all the job. And I'm happy of my colleagues. I thank Dr. Arindam Sinha, panelist, and Dr. Arindam Gangopadhyay Arindam Sinha is always beside me in all the works of the college. And here he is also supported, and Arindam Gangopadhyay, though he cannot access, he will get interest. I also thank associated with designing the certificate or technical support, etc., etc. And thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to everyone, and the session has end here. We have completed our national seminar, national webinar successfully. Thanks to
Thank
all
you.
of you.